crafters. Welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and I hope you are having an amazing holiday weekend. Mine has been adventuresome, a little crazy, getting things done, not getting things done, getting some rest, not getting a lot of rest, just a little bit of everything. So thanks for spending your Sunday afternoon with me. I am up in outside of the Payson area up in northern Arizona, where it is about 20-25 degrees cooler. It amazes me that you can drive 5,000 elevation and be about an hour and a half or so just outside of the valley, and makes such a difference. I mean, I woke up this morning, interesting enough, it was 70 degrees here. And that's cold. I hate to tell you, when you are when you're used to waking up in much warmer weather, it's kind of crazy. 70 degrees just really throws me off. But anyways, it doesn't matter. We're here, we're having fun, and I hope that you all are as well. So there is Runs with Quilts. Melissa, hey, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Melanie's here. Hey, Melanie, thanks for being here. Joydy, hey, Joydy, thanks for being on today. She says, dang, Russ, I wanted to beat the front row seat. Y'all, I tell you what, you all joined early today. I'm trying to get things set up and logged in because it's been a while since I've done one from up here. And I was like, wow, look, I've got people waiting. Now I feel like I'm really behind, but we got it, right? We made it work. Jody says, I brought the popcorn. Just never know what's going to happen on John's lives, do you? Jody says, hi, John, when you get here. Melanie says, hi, Jody. I was thinking this was Sean. My bad, Russ. Guess I need to remember to use the glasses before typing messages. Amen. I tell you what, I have literally, I think now, 12 pair of glasses. They're all basically the same prescription, but I have glasses everywhere because I absolutely hate wearing them, but I can't see without them, so I keep buying more and just keeping them everywhere because I can't keep up with just one pair. Lord, I can't even keep up with my cell phone. So you think I'm going to keep up with glasses? Katrina's here. Welcome in, Katrina. Thanks for being on this afternoon. Says we went to dinner at the third day of the soft opening for a new restaurant and grocery store near the house. They had the best fajitas I've had in a long time. I had to have 2 boxes to bring home my leftovers. Let me tell you, if they keep that up, they'll either not stay in business or they'll have so many people lined up you'll never be able to get back in. It sounds amazing. We had Friday night. So for me, Friday night is Fajita Fridays with, and we usually cook on the Blackstone griddle. And the only way we change it up is if we have steak instead of chicken in our fajitas. But we typically always have fajitas on Friday, and ended up I had bought groceries and had to cook here, and ended up going out Friday night for Mexican because, you know, Mexicans Friday night. I don't know what it is, you know. What else, Katrina? Katrina says, I told my son that the grocery part reminded me of the corner grocery store. Tell you what, I miss some of the old corner grocery stores. You get in these mega plexes now to shop, and I think that's why I just order online anymore. It's just simpler. Although I ordered a quick order today from Walmart because there was a few things that I hadn't gotten that I wanted to get, and I knew I had enough to get like a $35, $40 order. And then I ordered literally 10 items. 7 of them had substitutions. I was like, guys, really? Like, your inventory software is not better than that? I just can't. You know, it happens. You know, it's like whatever. But I spent more time accepting substitutions than it did for me to place the silly order. Inez says, hi, John and everyone. Thank you so much for the pattern. I received it today. That's awesome, Inez. I am glad that it got there. Congrats on winning the pattern. Balloonas from down in Tucson is on. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Trina wants to know who's ready for tomorrow's sew along. I have all mine cut. I need to get it out. So we will be doing the sparkle and stripe tomorrow. I brought so much. I have been wanting to work on this quilt as you go tote bag for I think a year. So I grabbed that to work on it while I was up here. Then I got the kitty cat quilt that Russ got done within 5 minutes that I had finally cut and got that out to bring up here. And then I did get everything ready for the sew along tomorrow with Sparkle and Stripe. So hopefully you all are able to join and be on tomorrow. I have a whole box of giveaways back here ready to go. So we'll do something about every 30 minutes tomorrow. And I did manage to use my AccuQuilt and get all my little gold stars cut out. So that's as far as John's gotten. And we will all have fun tomorrow working on that pattern together. Runs with Quilts, Melissa. No, Russ. Oh, good. Balloona says, I have the pattern we'll be working on finishing a brown bag mystery quilt, all out of batiks. You know, it's funny. I have yet to do much with batiks. I did start playing with them not too long ago. And I think I would really like working on the batiks, but I just haven't done it yet. So I need to do that a little bit more. Trina says, I decided to go with Oh My Stars from one of the 3-Yard Quilt books. Yes, I tell you what, I literally now own every 3-Yard Quilt book. I am really moving away from Villa Rosa, more into the 3-Yard Quilts. Probably July 4th, we'll end up doing a 3-Yard Quilt sew along for that one. I don't know, something about Donna and them. I will tell you, I am getting so spoiled rotten over my AccuQuilt. And I am just so over cutting fabric. And so I am literally working to convert any and every pattern that I can so I can cut it on the AccuQuilt. And if I can't cut it on the AccuQuilt, I'm getting to the point where I don't even want to do it anymore. Brian says, hi. Hey, Brian, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Katrina says, I think that book has, that's the nice thing. I mean, so their books run $14, $15, $18, but you get like 10 patterns, 8 to 10 in most of the books. I love the new modern one, and then they just came out with the Big Block book, and of course now they're doing 5-yard, and I do have the 5-yard book, but I have not done any 5 yards yet, so we'll see how that goes. Mama Jan's here. Welcome in, Mama Jan. Thanks for being here this afternoon. We miss you. We'll be back in the valley soon. There's Miss Sally. Hey, Miss Sally. Welcome in. Thanks for being on this afternoon with us. Look, now here Russ shows up. Look at you. You go, Russ. He has had a busy 2 weeks, let me tell you. He says, hi, John and Chad. Just landed at the Atlanta airport. I landed a few ago, and I'm heading to baggage claim. I tell you what, then he's got his hands full. I didn't realize he was coming back today. I knew he was coming back soon because he's been up in Massachusetts for quite a while. He threw me the other day, right, because he had his midweek update or whatever. I called it a vlog, and then he told me it wasn't the vlog. But anyways, he posted the other day, and I was like, okay, his unboxing video. And I was like, dude, how are you unboxing when you're... And then after I listened to the video, I realized he said he recorded that before he left. So, see, I try to keep up, but it's not always. Miss Danielle's here. Hey, Danielle, welcome in. Thanks for being on this afternoon. I got to catch her live this morning. It seemed like I hadn't been on live with her for a long, long time. And then she did the worst thing in the world, because you know how Danielle can be at times. She had to bring them puppies in. So the last 10 minutes of her live was those puppies. And it was like, oh my gosh, if that doesn't make you want to go get a puppy, I tell you what. And I bet she is such a good little puppy mom. I don't know. They were absolutely adorable. I am still not breaking down getting puppies right now, but I tell you what, those were absolutely adorable pups. Kathleen's here. Hey, Miss Kathleen. Kathy, thanks for being here. Welcome in this afternoon. Kathy Darlis here. She says it's 48 degrees when I woke up this morning. That would really be cold to me because I hate to tell you at 70 it was 70 in the house. So I never looked outside to see what it was because I keep this house on like 82. So even though I bump it down when I'm here to probably like 76, it automatically at 11:30 bumps back up to 82. So I don't worry about it during the night because I know it gets cool enough. It got cool enough outside that the inside temperature was 70 this morning. And I honestly thought about turning the heat on for a minute or two just to kind of knock the chill out. But I didn't because I don't want to pay the gas company any more than I have to. So I didn't do that. But I did quickly get a couple of cups of coffee in me. Hey, Becky, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Colleen's here. Thanks for being on. Zaza. Hey, Zaza. Thanks for being here. Goodness gracious. We are busy today in the chat. Let's see. Brian says, I have up to 3 glasses and 2 readers. I tell you what, I just literally do. I have a pair that I leave at the office. I have a pair that I leave in my backpack briefcase for work. I have another pair that I carry in my travel recreational backpack. I have a pair that I leave here. I have a pair, I think, in almost every room of the other house. It's crazy. And unfortunately, my prescription's not that much different. My eyes have really not changed that much. So it works out. But it's like, man, glasses are expensive. It's so crazy. Right. I am almost getting caught up on chat. Oh, Melanie says, I'm sorry I messed your name up. It happens. Nice to see you, John. Thanks, Melody. I hate to tell you, I just don't sweat it anymore. I am just thrilled to have you all when you drop in. Russ and I are big friends. So you know what? I would take it as a compliment to be referred to as Russ or Sean. I just watched Sean. Apparently he's had a busy weekend with graduations and all kinds of stuff going on as well. And I saw him out and about in Virginia, and he had some really cool postings on his weekly update this week. Hey, Jackie, thanks for being on this afternoon. Jean says she got her pattern too. Awesome. You are so welcome. Hopefully tomorrow you might win something else. I plan on doing, I think, 6 giveaways tomorrow. We'll do them about every 30 minutes. Who else? Oh, Jody says, let's peek in the giveaway box on that table. We might do that. You know me, I'm easy. Mama Jan says, I'm more than ready for tomorrow. I know she is. She texted me earlier. She's already sewn her stars onto the, so I stitched hers down. I have yet to even think about that. It's been crazy. Danielle wants to speak. Hey, Carl, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Carl's my buddy that I met down in Stitch in Heaven. He had been on the channel before, but he is an amazing guy, and he does some beautiful quilts, let me tell you. Zaza says, I prefer the bigger quilts or small projects. I don't mind the bigger quilts, but it seems like Villa Rose has just gotten so big. Like every time I do one, I tell you what, I've really gotten spoiled with doing some of the table runners and trying to do that. And so that's just crazy. Danielle says, I'm not excited about tomorrow coming so fast. Just faster Tuesday is getting here. I tell you what, I agree with you so much, girlfriend. Jody says, what are you serving us tomorrow? We are having barbecue chicken, and we are having homemade broccoli salad, which I make with fresh broccoli and cran raisins and sunflower kernel seeds, bacon. Can't go wrong with bacon. And then it's a mayonnaise, heavy cream. I can't remember what goes in it, but I just made that so it would soak up and be all juicy and ready to go tomorrow. And probably barbecue beans, right? I mean, baked beans. You have to have baked beans. I mean, it is a holiday. Oh, Jackie says she just packed her AccuQuilt dies and machines, 2 weeks left. I tell you, I know you'll be so glad to be able to say I am unpacking those things versus packing. Just so crazy. Melissa says we're going to enjoy all of tomorrow. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, we are. I am not heading back to the valley until Tuesday morning when I drive straight to work from here. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, Sally says she saw the new Big Block book. I just bought that. It shipped Thursday to me. I'll actually have those on my Etsy store. I'm trying to get the Etsy store back up and running. But yes, I just bought those as well because I'm really anxious because AccuQuilt actually has a 10 or 10.5 inch die. So basically, you can cut your own layer cakes. And I would really like to get that so I can start cutting some of my own layer cakes in that. Hey, Colleen, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. I tell you what, it seems like Donna and Fran are coming out with books faster than you can keep up anymore. I plan to use one of their books and have that as part of the New Year's Eve retreat is the plan. And it's like, man, I have changed twice from how I've laid out and designed some of that retreat. So it's going to be interesting because I've got another 6 months to keep changing my mind. So Russ is headed to baggage claim. So he may be on and off, or he may be listening, but I doubt that he's going to be able to chat much with us tonight. Zaza says, John, your version of code is a hot summer day here. I just can't imagine. And I'll be honest, I've been a baby my entire life, and that just isn't going to change. I remember being 8, 10 years old. And I grew up at a day like when you could go outside and play and you had neighbors and you ran the street and you did all that and no one worried about all the craziness that you have to worry about nowadays. But I remember it would snow and that and be cold. And the neighborhood kids would come knock on the door to want me to go out and play. And it's like, have you just lost any mind there? Why would you want to go outside and be in the cold and be in the snow? So yes, that just doesn't happen. That is just not who John is. So that I have been that way my entire life. I love Belinda says she already has the book already and she's already picked out her first quilt to make. I am jealous. Brian hasn't seen the book yet, so he'll have to get on the websites and check that out. They actually just did, Fran and Donna, I think, but I know Fran for sure just did a video on the on that book, and it was really a good video. I do have to say I really enjoy watching their videos. If I am not watching and putting up now with Donna and Fran from 3 Yard Quilts, I am watching Chris and our Pam from AccuQuilt, but I've really got I've been watching a lot of Chris videos with Rose City quilts because he's on AccuQuilt a lot. He's the one that just made the new bow tie die, but he just showed the other day binding, and Pam shows how to do the binding on AccuQuilt and how she cuts and uses the dies and all that. And I have started doing that. It's taken the bulk out of my, where you put the fabric together, right, and cut it on the cross. It's made such a difference for me using the AccuQuilt die in that. I've got the little Go Me that makes it easy to cut just that corner off. I really like the way it's looking. And then he just showed on a video yesterday that I found that he bought a compensating foot for the Juki. So when he stitches the binding on the back and flips it to the front, he's using the new 1/4 inch steam seam and puts that down and then pulls the binding over. And that compensating foot really gives you a perfect run down each side of the quilt. So I just got mine. Actually got it off Amazon because they were as cheap. And of course I got free shipping. So I grabbed one for my Juki back home. I have yet to get to use it, but I've got everything to do it, and I am anxious to play with that to see how I'm going to like that. Danielle said his version of code is shorts and t-shirts to me. I tell you what, it's cold when I have to put on a sweatshirt and sweatpants. I hate putting on anything besides shorts and t-shirts. So when I retire, I plan on getting rid of everything. And if I can't wear t-shirts, shorts, and flip-flops, then I don't want to be there. That is going to be my mantra. She says, Sally says the retreat center farm got a 5-month-old Pyrenees puppy while there this past week. Oh my God, he is so cute and big. Got a quilt top for my guy done. May add another border. Look at you. I forgot about you going to the retreat. I'd be anxious to hear about the retreat, Miss Sally. Love to hear what you liked about it and what made that retreat so special. Who else? Danya says, what time? 5 dinner tomorrow. Look at you. I just bought the Gemini pattern from Villa Rosa. I have to go back and look. I have not been buying any of the new Villa Rosa patterns just because I have so many. Mama Jan says it's 214 days till Christmas. She forgets we have to do Halloween first, though, because I am putting my Halloween trees up this year. I did not get to do that last year, but I do absolutely plan to have my Halloween trees up this year. Sally, see, Sally likes bacon too. There's Brian, 159 days till Halloween. You go, Brian. Oh, Mama Jan says our goat gang does have the 10-inch dice, so that's perfect. All right, let's see. All right, so here's what I have been working on. Oh, Rose City Originals. Thank you. I could not think of his site. You don't get those feet for my Janome, so I use the stitch in the ditch with the blade in the middle. Oh, that makes sense. And I think that's what I had on when I was using Bernina. Bernina had a foot like that that I used to use. And that was the one reason I kind of hated getting away from the Bernina. But I'll be honest, I'm such a Juki freak that it's not even, I can't do anything but Juki now. Sorry, guys, I have been dehydrated. I will tell you, my allergies have been really going crazy up here. So different. So this is the quilt that I have been working on. And if you all remember, it is a quilt that I started a year ago. And I happened to grab it as I was running out the door because I thought, you know what? What could be more perfect than to work on this while I am up here? It was a pre-cut that I bought from a shop out in California. I mainly bought it because it was pre-cut and it was purple, and I knew it had a lot of square triangles in that to give me an opportunity to really start honing in my skills in that. I've been overall, I've been happy with it. What I am not happy with is how this fabric is just frayed everywhere. It just drives me nuts. I think I've gotten so used now to basically starching my fabrics before I cut them. And it set the difference in the way it holds up. I just like the stiffness of it. I just like that I get a lot less fray with it. Of course, I didn't do that with these because this was all pre-cut, and it was fine. But it's just funny because it's like, okay, once you get used to that, I am using the new Faultless Magic. I have tried everything else, and now I'm buying the Magic by the gallons, and I am just absolutely soaking every bit of fabric before I run it through the AccuQuilt or anything else. It helps so much with the frays and all that on these fabrics. Plus, I think it does help me stitch even better. So things line up. I will say I have been really pleasantly surprised. Either my skills or my patience are getting better, but most of these blocks are actually lining up, with the exception of these half square triangles. Not so much. Some of these lined up really good, and others not as well as I would have liked. But again, this is just kind of a practice play quilt. I don't know where it'll end up, if it'll end up in a donation, but as you know, I have quite a few already sitting at the house that are going to need something done with them anyways. So by the time I get this long-armed, it's not going to probably matter. So we will see how that goes. And just, that's what I should have done, is stayed at the other house and done long arming. It's just, I tell you what, it's more fun putting them together. I did watch, and interesting enough, Chris from Rose City Quilts has the basically the same setup that I do for long arming. So I was able to watch. He's got a video on that, and I watched that today. And it's like, guys, I would just be better if I would just do it, right? It's just a matter of the more you do it, the better you get. He does do his with the So Tight magnets, which I do as well. And I did make that investment, and they really do make it much easier and faster to go on. But again, just so much going on. Like when we got here, this area has all that cottonwood and that around here. So literally I had just cotton stacked everywhere. So finally today got the wet dry vac out just to suck all that up and clean that. But then the screened-in porch hadn't been cleaned for the season, and it was covered in that nasty cotton stuff along with some other things. It was like, oh my gosh, guys, it's just got to stop at some point. So, but for the most part, got that done. So the house looks good. Everything is back together, and excited to actually have dinner outside in the screened-in porch tonight, because it is pleasant enough and nice enough out here that we can still sit out most of the summer here. It does get a little humid in that during the day, but because it's not the concrete jungle from the other end of the state, then actually stay cool enough. It's cool enough tonight where you can actually enjoy sitting outside, having dinner, doing all that. So that has been the plan for tonight. So that'll be exciting. Of course, I don't cook on Sunday night, so that's even better, even more exciting. So I enjoy that. Just so much going on. I bought so many new bolts of fabric. I had to buy a new shelf unit to hold that. So because I've got all those bolts coming in. So I'm anxious to see what that looks like when it finally arrives. So we can start making up some of our own kits and putting those things together. All right, sorry guys, I got behind. That's the problem with chatting and working and doing all of that. I am anxious for tomorrow. Can you imagine? Y'all have got to listen to me for 3 hours tomorrow. I need to try to get Danielle the link. I know she said she would join for a little while as well. And to be honest, I just haven't had time. I had to go to Home Depot today because I spent a ton of money last year at the nice nursery down the street. And I bought 2 like evergreen tree shrub things for the front of the house. One died immediately. Of course, it was the one I paid $300 or $400 for. And the other one died over the winter. So because actually the park manager apparently took it out for me, because the guys here really do take good care of me and kind of spoil me a little bit. So they did that. So when I got up here, I had 2 holes. And I thought, okay, so I need to really go back and get that fixed and put back together. So ran to Home Depot today and got a couple of plants to put in there. So, again, just something else to work on, right? So instead of getting to sit here and sew and do the things John wants to do and enjoys. We have to make sure that the house looks nice because I don't want the neighbors walking by going, this guy, buys this house and then doesn't even take care of it. But it's so funny. Like I have a landscaper that comes once a month to take care of the house down there, and yet up here I do it myself because it's just not that much to do. But yet someone's still got to do it. It still takes time and still takes some effort. So, but the house does look nice. It's so funny. Like when we got done cleaning and sweeping and putting it all together, it does make you feel good. It gives you that pride of ownership, and it's just says a lot about who you are and what you do, right? But it's like, oh my gosh, guys, one more to do, one more to fool with. It's like crazy. All right, let me catch back up on chat. I have no idea where I left off. Oh, Danielle says we should do a fun, spooky Halloween project. We absolutely should. So let's plan that. Maybe we'll do that for July 4th. Maybe we'll just, I had planned to do maybe Christmas in July, but we'll see. But I would absolutely love for us to do a fun Halloween project together. I just love Danielle. She's like the sister that I always had hoped I would have. She's such a sweetheart. And she likes Halloween too. I tell you what, though, I don't know that I can keep up with the costume changes that she had. I mean, I'm watching her channel last year and I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl, right? Crazy. She had so much going on in different costumes every day. And I have to figure out, because if I'm going to be on with her doing Halloween stuff, I got to be able to keep up, right? So I've got to step my game up. So we will figure that out. Jeannie says, did you see the Idiot Quilter So Chatty discussion on effective retreats? I did. I don't tend to watch Stephen very often, but someone had texted me about that, and I did go in to watch that to see what his opinion was about some retreats and that. And I did take a few notes. So I am looking and researching everything. I do plan to put a video up soon to talk about my retreat. I just now finally got everything finalized, the new contract signed and that, because I ended up moving the retreat back down to the valley because I actually found a retreat center over in the Glendale area. And it just amazes me because it's really supposed to be someone's house. And it's like this 5,000, 8,000 square foot home with 5 bedrooms. And I mean, just like, I can't imagine that someone would actually live there. I mean, I get it for a retreat center, right? But this is someone's house. To beat it all, the lady that owns it and rents out the center in that, we were talking about different things, and she goes, well, that's my house across the street. I thought, well, of course it is. So, I mean, she lives in, one of these big mega mansion things. So, but it's got a swimming pool and just all kinds of stuff. But it seats 14. So that changed some of the dynamics because originally we had planned to have a little bit smaller retreat. But to me, 14, 16 is really like the perfect number. It's fun where we can get to meet folks. It's fun where we can work on projects together. It's big enough that we've got some variety. You've got enough folks that some will want to stay up all night. You got others that, won't want to do, it just feels very flexible to me. I'll be honest, Stitch in Heaven was nice. I like their facility. I don't like getting there. It's so far from the airport and civilization, but like when you get there, it's great. But they have like 45 people, and like 2/3 of the folks I never even got to meet or talk to. On the other hand, I did get to meet Carl and did get to learn about him and did get to see his lime green featherweight, and really got to because he was on, but only because he was on my side of the room. So, but again, I don't know that it would have mattered because I think you're going to meet Carl regardless, right? If Carl's in the room, I think you're going to get to know him. he's a super guy. He's part of that Stephanie's gang with Russ and all that. And, they're just such a great supporters and great group of people anyways. All right, this one absolutely does not want to line up. So that happens occasionally. We're going to make it work the best we can, because I will tell you, I have ripped out enough on this that I'm not ripping out anymore. This is next to the last row, and then I've just got to trim it all good and put it back together, and that is the plan. All right. Let's see what else. Sasa says, I like to put my fabric to at least be steam pressed before I cut, usually with something like best pressed or a flatter as well. I agree. And I had really done a lot of steaming my fabrics in that and liked it. But now that I've gotten so used to putting that magic stuff on, it's just, I've just gotten spoiled with it. Charlotte goes, whoops, just realized what time it was. Charlotte, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. Sally says, I use water and cheap vodka for pressing. I'm assuming you put the vodka in the water, not in you, when you're doing the pressing. Just kidding, Sally. Just kidding. But I know friends at Quilt Club here that have told me that that's what they do. They were like, I'm not buying and paying for all that kind of craziness. I have not tried that, to be honest, so I can't speak to it. Sadly, it may work just as well, if not better, than what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, this is what I've got right now, and this is what's working. It's taken me a long time to figure out like what works for me and what doesn't. And so I feel like I've really gotten into a rhythm. I'm getting into the binding finally and feeling comfortable with binding the way I want. And so that has made me feel more confident in that. I really would like to try to put together something for the quilt show in our guild next year. I doubt that I will, just because and the way our guild works for their quilt shows is if you've never been in a quilt competition, then you're considered a novice. And so I just feel uncomfortable that I'm competing with folks that have done it for 30, 40 years, but because they're first time in a quilt show, they get to be a novice. It just seems a little off to me. So I doubt that I will do our quilt show, but I have made some, I have looked at some other shows that are in the area and we'll probably try to get one put together to enter into a more other local show that's set up a little bit better. So then I can look at, because I would like to get some real feedback in that and start building a wall like Ian does, right? Man, him and Sobecca, it is just amazing, some of the quilts in that they put out. But you know what? That's where I think that guy quilts or makes bags or some, I think he sits on the machine 24/7. It's just amazing when you watch him. Brian says he uses Best Press too. I did too. I ended up finding Magic was a little bit cheaper and I liked it as well. But I'll be honest, I have a gallon of both. So I kind of switch back and forth. Charlotte, come on. Susan says, what's the latest on your retreat? The retreat is going to be New Year's Eve through January 4th. It is going to be in Glendale at the Arizona Elite Retreat Center. It will house 14 folks, and excited to get that put together. It is out on the Guys Craft 2 website, and we're just now really kind of getting it where we're advertising it and putting it out there. But everything is up and ready to open registration and all that stuff. We just I had to wait until I got the contract signed and in place, and we just did that last week. So that is all done. We actually have 5 retreats scheduled for 2026. And so anxious to do that. We're looking at doing a men's retreat. We're actually looking at doing a Christmas in July retreat. We're looking at doing a fall frenzy retreat, looking at a Thanksgiving retreat, and then probably repeat New Year's Eve again. So we'll see. So I will tell you, I probably take a different approach. I've done conferences and workshops across the U.S. for years and years and years. I've done several retreats, attended several retreats locally, a couple of big retreats, and I'm taking what I think makes sense to me and putting my own spin on how I think a retreat should be done. So I'm anxious to get some feedback and get the first actual quilting retreat under our belt. So Danielle, I will absolutely email you and be in touch so we can talk about doing something for Halloween. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to read through the chat so I can get caught up. Yeah, see, Balloona says last retreat she went to was 40 people and it was too many. I agree. I think you can get up to 24 and make it work. 14 just seems really makes sense to me. It's there's plenty of space. Everyone has a 6-foot table. Everyone's got their own work area. The next room over's got the cutting tables and all that. So you sew in peace and all that in one room. But when you do need to cut and that, she's got cutting tables and all that, and ironing stations set up in 2 other spaces. It accommodates, she's got 2 tables of 8, so you can eat. And that, I don't know, it just seems a real opportunity to be able to get to meet people and get to make some friends in that, right? Judy's here. Good afternoon, everyone. Just got back from going through the Redwoods over Crescent City. Hope everyone's having a great day. Judy, thanks for being on this afternoon. Thanks for joining. Sally says it's interesting to see the fabric creases relax when sprayed. Yeah, I think that's the other thing. And that's one of the reasons I was steaming fabric so much, is because it just drives me nuts. I want my fabric just perfect. Joanne G's here. What state will you be holding your retreat? It is in Glendale, Arizona, and it is 30 minutes from Sky Harbor Airport. And so and should be what we hope is perfect weather, because the whole point of doing it over New Year's Eve and that's usually the perfect weather, and that's when people want to be here. And Sally says, yes, John, it's in the water. Sorry, Sally. I just had to be a little bad. I have got multiple bags that I want to make, but yet I have got none done. I also want to sew a dust cover. Look, Brian's got his dust cover done. I want to make dust covers for this, and I want to make dust covers for my AccuQuilt cutters. Okay, come on. Sorry, my scroll's not working. That's why I'm having trouble. Aussie Chan channel on YouTube is good for basic bags. I'll take a look too, because I've been doing the totes. I did the totes for the kids in that, and I've been trying to build out some more for them, but still a long ways from where I want to be. Hey, Katie, the Greenland Quilter is here. Welcome in. Thank you for being on. She's been a busy lady. Lord have mercy. I've been watching some of the stuff she's got going on, and she's got a lot going on. Katie says, I love the room that you're sewing in. This is my multi-purpose room. This is family room, living room, sewing room. It's got it all in this room up here. So we just use a little bit of every bit of space we can. Mama Jan says, my Mother's Day foot pedal thingy works super duper. Thanks again from to the boys. So we gave her one of the new Gypsy Quilter has got those new little foot pedals that you put on hardwood floors to keep your foot from scooting all around. I've got like 6 of them. I've got one for every machine, and for retreats and everywhere else I go. I just love those. Yeah, Zaza says she hadn't been to a retreat, but smaller means better. I agree. I so agree. Sally says theirs was in a separate area as well. Nightbot is catching up. It's been so beautiful. Thank you. That is the one thing I do like about this. Unlike my YouTube studio back at the house, I don't have as much natural light. I only have one natural light or one big window in that room, and I ended up putting all commercial lighting in. I do like up here that it's got so much natural light, and I've even got the big blinds closed because the neighbors all walk by and shake their head because I'm not here often enough that they even really know me or know what goes on, but they just know I've always got something going on. Katrina says, I have salad tomato bag to make one day if I ever get caught up. Amen, girl. I have those. I have Bianni. I've bought multiple Biannis because Adam has suggested those bags. So I bought multiples of those. All right, guys, look at this. Tell me this is not going to be a beautiful quilt when it gets done. I've only got one more row to make. Then I've got to get it sized up so then I can put the rows together. But I am so happy with the way this is turning out. And I had nothing to do with this other than the fact I expensed it and paid for it because this was all pre-cuts and it was all in the purples, and that's why I bought it. So I am very anxious to get this trimmed up, matched up, so then I can sew the rows together. So then I can add it to the stack of 23 quilt tops that need to get done. But you know what? They'll get done. The nice thing is it's not food, so they're not going bad, and they're not going anywhere. So is what it is. All right, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm getting down to what I think is the final. Oh, and Jody wanted to know what was in the box. So let's look real quick. Because I did put together my giveaway box. So everything has a bin. Everything goes in the bin. So we do have a quilt kit for tomorrow. We do have a fat 8th bundle for tomorrow. We do have a jelly roll for tomorrow, and a charm pack, and a couple of project things. So like I said, we've got about 6 gifts. So you have to tune in tomorrow if you want to see specifically what the jelly roll and that is. But they're Modus and that they're all nice, good names. So I am anxious. The last thing that we will give away is a quilt kit. And I was really excited about this quilt kit. So we'll see how that turns out tomorrow. But I think we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. All the other holiday quilting bees have gone well. I think we always have a good time because I have just the best YouTube family in the world. And so as such, it is always fun for us just to be together and figure out what each one is doing. I am finishing book 2 of Harry Potter. So that has been fun because now I've gotten hooked on Harry Potter 20 years too late. But yeah, it is what it is. And I have really enjoyed listening to those on tape and getting to put that together. So that has been fun. I've watched all the movies now. So I need to, but I wanted to listen to the books. And then as I'm listening to the books, we go back and rewatch the movies, which has been interesting because I've only gotten through book 1. So we went back and watched the first movie, which I'd already seen. And so it was really interesting because I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's not what they did in the book. Wait a minute. That's not what the book said. Wait a minute. The book said, and it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea how much different things were. Sorry, guys. I am really dehydrated. Mm. Um, Jody says, John, just send me the whole box. Tell you what, she is such a sweetheart, isn't she? I am so, like I said, I always say, guys, I am so fortunate to have such a great YouTube family. I am beyond excited that I get to meet Sally next year. At some point, I'm going to meet my new friend down in Tucson. So we just have to find a quilt show or something to bump into. I really hope to meet more people at QuiltCon and really didn't get to meet the folks that I thought I would. And that's okay. I mean, I still had a good time at QuiltCon. I was thrilled that it was in Phoenix, disappointed that it's going to be in Atlanta for 27. But hopefully 28, they'll bring it back to Phoenix, and then we can maybe make some plans then. I would really like, if the retreats and that are working in that, to end up having the retreat center for that entire week, able to work on some projects, maybe have some special guests come in that week and make QuiltCon as shuttle runs to QuiltCon 1 or 2 days as well. So I think that could really be cool. But interesting enough, I have already picked dates that I want to do retreats throughout 26. And the owner told me, she said, I haven't released 26 dates yet. She said, I'm waiting, but she knows I've got mine, and she knows I'm very anxious to get those locked in. So we'll see how that goes. And what else? Colleen says, I'm pleased to say I finished my Tibet quilt along project. Tomorrow I'll be working on the goat and sprouts block from the Art East Farm sampler. I tell you what, I have yet to take on a Art East project. I really so love listening to when he's on with Sean and that. Definitely think they have got some beautiful things. I am just not convinced myself that I need to do that yet, but I at some point will be doing an Art East project. I just don't know when, but I bet you are excited to get that started and get to see how that one is going to turn out. Because I do think I know Legit Kits has got some really cool things in that. Cotton Cuts has some cool things, but there's something about the Art East that draws me. I don't know what it is, but I have yet to spend the money. I think that's because I got so hooked up on Tula Pink that I didn't have a lot of money left to go to some of these other ones. Because I tell you what, I do think Art East has some pretty cool things. So Colleen, I bet that it is, but you are definitely ready and excited for that. Jody says, I'll share with other criminals. You all are so bad sometimes. That's why we all get along. See, I just love you all. Sally says, I was happy with myself, started a quilt top, sewed one charm pack, thought was done. Nope. I have a matching one to also doll. Look at you. I don't know. Doll. See? Tell you what, our work never ends. Yes, that's all it says. I don't think it's fair to do it. I don't either, personally. I think if you're going to go to Raleigh, I think you should have come back. I think if you're going to be east of the Mississippi, you need to come west of the Mississippi. So, but apparently I've been told that that's their kind of their mantra. They do Raleigh, Atlanta, then Phoenix. It's kind of become their rotation. And I think that's not, if anything, I think they should have done Raleigh, Texas, and then Phoenix, because I think Dallas or Houston or somewhere would have been more more central versus two real East Coast trips. And it's just too expensive for me to go East Coast. I mean, I can either wait and go when they come here, or I can spend the money on the travel and then either go in debt trying to buy stuff and enjoy myself at the show, or just wait a couple of years and hope they come back here. So I don't know. I'm sure that they are listening and value my opinion, and they've been waiting for someone to share their, for me to share my thoughts with them. But you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, the population is not as dense, you know, maybe as on the west as it is on the east, but at the same time, it's an economy that they're kind of limiting or missing out on. Well, Mama Jane says she sent me a picture of the finished block for tomorrow. See, Mama Jane couldn't even wait. She's already got hers going. I think it was Mama Jan or one of them goes, well, don't you have a sample to show? And I was like, nope, that's not the way John works. John's never had his done prior. John always does it live, good, bad, or indifferent. And somebody goes, well, you're supposed to show your projects that you're working on before you start. And I was like, yeah, that just doesn't happen. So I know you all are used to me by now, and you know I do everything John's way, right? So, you know, that's part of it. I remember when I was a school teacher for almost 4 years. I was not trained and educated as a school teacher, although I did take some semester of undergrad classes because I'd always wanted to be a school teacher. And it was funny how many times the teachers would tell me, well, you know, that's not the way we do things as a school teacher. And I thought, yeah, that's probably part of your problem because you all worry about all these books and what the books say, where I treated children as children. I was a parent, so I kind of had an idea of what motivated and what kids responded to. And I taught school John's way. And you know what? It worked. And at the end of the year, they were always amazed at how well my children scored on standardized tests and that, and what was happening. And it was like, you know, guys, it's not rocket science. You've got to listen to your kids. You got to meet your kids where they're at. And let's worry more about how do we get the concepts through to these kids versus forcing something down. If it doesn't work one direction, quit being so hung up about your being prideful about, well, I taught it right. Because I did have a teacher one time in pre-algebra tell me, not pre-algebra, it was algebra 2, I think I was taking. She basically told me I must be stupid because she had taught it correctly. And so the fact that I was still struggling and not keeping up with a couple of the concepts must be something wrong with me because she had taught the lesson the way it should have been taught. And I think it's that kind of stuff that just resonated with me that made me a better teacher, because it was like, no, it's not about you, the teacher. It's about how do you get that concept across. Look, Belinda says she's already got a retreat scheduled for July of 26. You go. I have yet to put that schedule out, but we will be putting one out soon. Man, look, what else? You all have been chatty tonight. I already have a retreat schedule. Joydy's got hearts. QuiltCon, Melissa, 2027. They said we'll be Atlanta. Yes, they did. Mama Jan says, loving the Purple Flowers quilts, or is it a table runner? Sorry, I was sewing and still trying to watch. Now, it is a full-size quilt. So I've got one more row to put together, and then I just got to attach all the rows. Yeah, Melissa says I thought they were going back to Phoenix. I think all of us out here had hoped they would come back to Phoenix, but nope, they announced they are going to Atlanta. Katie says, I mentioned Nico about Atlanta. Maybe I can come back in 27 and do Atlanta because that would mean me getting to see my grandson and son. Yeah, that would be cool. I bet, and I can't imagine what your travel is like and what that would cost, Katie. So we have to figure out how to meet you at some point. Jody said, see, well, Jody, she's so spoiled. She's probably right between both. So I'm sure being in North Carolina, she's closer to Raleigh, but she's close enough. See, she can scoot down to Atlanta. Yeah, Katie says Phoenix would be too expensive. I would bet coming across, because once you get here, then you still got to come across the country. Um, Katie says I can go. I go to California every year due to the cost of it. Yeah, I get that. That's why I am going to road to California in January. Already made my reservations. I have yet to buy the tickets because I don't think they've opened tickets yet, and I doubt that I'll do the shows, but I doubt that I'll do any of the workshops in that. But we'll see. Once they get all that published, we'll see how that goes. Look, Sally was so busy. She said she got all the other done after she done the Sudoku quilt top for her guy. Tell you what, you were pumping out the work at that retreat. Brian says he's hoping to go next year. Brian, I will tell you, it was one of the best experiences I have had. I will tell you, I absolutely love the Phoenix Conference Center, but a lot of it had to do with QuiltCon, with the fact that they actually rented enough space so they could sparse out so that you could actually get up and down the aisles and get around and have movement and that. I think a lot of times we blame the conference center, and it's like, well, the event coming in should have an idea how much space they need. And so we had lots of space in Phoenix, which really made it nice. It got crowded in the afternoon, I'll tell you. I mean, we still had tons of people, and it wasn't always easy to get up and down, but it was there. Katie says she's hoping to go to Raleigh next year. Sherry says, did you say Atlanta? Yes, we did say Atlanta in 2027. It is out on their website. Stitching Life Together, welcome in. Thanks for being here this afternoon. I agree, Sally. That was a lousy excuse. All right, guys, I have hit that 1 hour mark. I appreciate each and every one of you being on tonight. I appreciate you being so chatty. Tomorrow, you have 3 hours to listen to me if you want to join in. I hope to finish this quilt tonight. If not, I may finish it tomorrow after the live tomorrow. Holiday Quilting Bees tomorrow. It is at 7 a.m. Arizona time, which means 10 a.m. Eastern time. Feel free to drop in, drop out, do whatever you want to do. I think we will have a good time together. We usually do. We will be doing some giveaways and all those fun things. Tell your friends, neighbors about the channel and what we have going on. And as always, until next time, happy crafting.